How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Basement Podcast, your home for all things comics, TV, film, anime, gaming, and pop culture. We're your hosts. This is Eddie.
And it's your boy Boozer.
Today, guys, we are diving into the new TV series with Disney Plus. You might have already seen it, Wonder Man. All right. Grab your headphones, grab a snack, join us on this venture to the Marvel Universe. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications buttons. There they are. Oh, God. Like so many freaking buttons to press, guys. Thank you. And we really would appreciate a subscribe and a like for this episode if you've been listening. But you know what? We're going to dive right in to Wonder Man series on Disney+. Boozer, what do you thought about the visuals? Give me your initial thoughts. Might as well. Let's start going from there.
Pleasantly surprised. All right. I came in, by the way, not watching a single trailer. Not watching a single trailer. I just wanted to go in cold, I wanted to go in just a brand spanking new.
Beautiful.
No, nothing, pretty much. And I'll be 100% honest. I do not know much about Wonder Man from the comics.
Most people don't.
I'm not well read on Wonder Man. I briefly know his origin, but that's about it.
Yep.
So if I get anything wrong, do not hate me, okay? I'm learning, okay?
I think you're a part of the 90% of people that don't know about Wonder Man. And trust me, I am maybe only 4% more knowledgeable than you are, so I'm not even that far ahead of you either. But I agree with you. I was so pleasantly surprised with it. The only thing I did see was, the eye flares and everything like that, the color change of when his powers are activating in the stills. I think that was the major thing. I just saw the small clip of him going in for an audition. I think that was it. That's the only thing I saw.
Too,
yeah, and I'm like, and I think I mentioned this before. I stopped watching trailers for that reason, especially after one trailer. I'm done. I don't do it.
100%. I am a one trailer, whatever. Even if it's a teaser, I'm done after that.
Done. Yeah. If I got a little bit of it, I don't need it anymore. That's it, because I want to be surprised again. And this series, I think, made me very happy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
I binged it in 2 sittings. I watched 4 and 4.
Same.
And it's nice that we've spoken recently on Iron Man 3.
No.
Because 100%, I will forgive any flaws of Iron Man 3 because of Trevor Slattery. My God, was he such a good compliment in this show.
All right, we're going to skip to that real quick before we get into anything else, everybody, because yes, we discussed this literally last episode. I don't want to say I fully forgive him, but I love
a good amount.
Yeah, I know he was great in this role.
Ben Kingsley is just incredible.
Yeah, he is, and he is overall, he's an amazing actor in general, and that's what I'm saying. Because we're going to jump around a little bit, because speaking of him, you saw it. You saw how impactful that moment was at the point of episode 4. I want to say it was episode 4. At the end of episode 4, that's when he goes back into the Mandarin persona, and he puts on one of the best freaking self-tapes you would ever see in the series, and you're just like, that's how good he is, and that's how good it could have been if he was actually the terrorist, in this movie.
I know. It's so
double-edged
hard. Sword. It's a double-edged sword. Okay.
It really is. But again, as Trevor Slattery, he hits every mark. He makes their scenes together so good, and I think kudos to them for choosing a different route to take with this character, because if we kind of go back a little bit, his origin is very weird. I don't know if you know this one. The first origin technically is that one, he's pissed off at Tony Stark. And I'm ad-libbing here, guys. He's pissed off at Tony Stark, like every other character in the fucking MCU, right? And so he eventually finds his way to go to Baron Zemo. And Zemo gives him his powers. He gives him ionic energy and so on and so forth. And that's how he gets his powers. This one doesn't show any type of connection whatsoever to that in that direction.
Yeah, I think they might have seen the videos where people are tired of characters being connected to Tony Stark.
I think duly noted, and it worked out perfectly for that. But then here's the main thing. I think they took the
Why
best
did he
part.
need powers again? What was his yearning for powers again?
So
I know the Baron von Zemo, the Baron, but I just forget why he wanted that power.
So it was a matter of like. So pretty much how he's portrayed right now in the show, of him needing gratification and some like importance of his ego and all that kind of stuff. Essentially, he wanted powers to be able to get back at Tony Stark, but at the same time be better than what he was and actually be gratified, pretty much stroke his ego. That's how they kind of pretty much wrote it back in the 60s, right? But the whole thing with Baron Zemo, he ends up being kind of coerced, I guess, or tricked into fighting the Avengers, and he realizes Baron Zemo is the bad guy. So, take that with a grain of salt.
Doing ionic experiments on someone wasn't a red flag.
Yeah, and also, I'm pretty sure by that point, Baron Zemo was very noted in the history of the MCU. So I'm even in the comics, he should have known, unless, again, I forget. This is
Did
one
you
of the...
no research on the guy that's going to give you superpowers?
I that's what I'm saying. Or was he not wearing his mask? Was he wearing another mask on top of the mask?
He was wearing the evil villain mask, and I'm pretty sure I did see a picture of him wearing the mask, giving him the power. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a panel with them two, and he's wearing the mask, and I'm like, if you saw that and you were like, trustworthy,
right? He's a
good guy.
This guy with this sweater on his face, I like him. I can trust him.
This evil lab that I'm in, that we're about to get powers, I'm feeling the good vibes.
Oh my god, and that's what I'm saying. So with this route, honestly, they're really taking it all over the place. The one thing I'm happy with is that they did take the what they did in the 90s. He's a struggling actor. He's trying to get big and everything, but that's also, again, his ego needed to be stroked. That's why he wanted to be an actor. And then that's straight from the comics. And, I enjoy the fact that, they still paid a lot of Easter eggs to the costumes. You see a lot of it playing from the original Wonder Man movie that they show in episode 2 or 3. I forget. I know there's only
several times.
They only 8 episodes, right? And then eventually to the one that everyone knows in his movie, debut.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're gonna backtrack a little bit. What about the everything? I feel like cinematography wise, everything hit the mark because this was a movie within a documentary.
Yeah.
For me, right?
Yeah.
Visually, that's how I felt. It was just everything there because they weren't really going CGI heavy. It wasn't about fighting.
Yeah. No. The one thing that I love, and I was thinking about this a lot, is a lot of criticisms about the MCU and superhero movies in general is repetitive, either beam in the sky or the world's gonna end or something like that, right? And it's can we get something different? And a lot of times, people have always wanted, even back into Winter Soldier territory, right, where it felt more like a spy espionage movie that had superheroes than a superhero movie, right? We were like, can we just get other genres? Can we get genres within? Can we get a horror? I mean, even with the other Spotlight series,
Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
a
beautiful,
more horror-esque, thriller, but superheroes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And this just felt like I don't know what genre this would be in, but it just felt like I'm watching a different genre show, but with a superhero in it, and I felt good. It felt refreshing, and I really enjoyed even just the visuals wise when they showed the Wonder Man title and it was tracking with usually the car typically him driving somewhere.
God, I hope he made it all the way back and forth fucking California. Ridiculous. I don't even believe that car should have survived that long, but
that car, come on. If anything's unrealistic, we get for the powers and everything. Yeah, that car ain't moving no more.
It should.
That
not
car
have
was gone 10 years ago.
At least give us a Honda. We can believe a Honda, but that I was kidding. But no, I agree. It was shot so well, and everything about it was just spot on. You know what I mean? Because it also, like you were saying, it's more grounded.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what, like you said, what we've been wanting.
Because the majority of the people were regular humans, regular people. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and at the same time, at the end of the day, we can only handle so much of a universal threat. You know what I mean? World-ending moments. You know, you can only go so much with that all the time. Sometimes we need that little moment of, this guy is just trying to rob the bank, and you need to stop the bank robber.
Yeah.
Can we just do that today? You know what I mean? Like, we need the bread and butter, right? We need the stuff.
Have to be a threat right now.
Does it always, right? But that's what, you know, speaking of threats, though, I do enjoy the connecting tissue right now, which is damage control.
Yeah.
Damage control has evolved greatly in the MCU, and kudos to the writers. They found a need for them, you know, to be more than just, you know, especially after removing S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, and then who else was there after, you know,
although I do want to see them make a return. I want to see S.H.I.E.L.D. make a return.
Well, remember, I think they're technically Sword now. Remember
I want to see Sword, S.H.I.E.L.D. I want to see...
we want to see Nick Fury better. Yeah, we want to see a better Nick Fury than what we got. 100%. Freaking, like, you know,
we can ignore that.
What was it called again?
That other show. We don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah, the scrolls are there. Scrolls, right? But that's what I'm saying. So with damage control, they're being as big of an antagonist as anything else in there, and then I think that's a good, you know, villain technically, right? Because there's 100%. So many connectors to anything. You can make their story spread out to anything. One, they want to fill a fucking prison. That's the role of this episode right now. That's where Trevor gets his play into everything. Which, you know, we guys, I hope you realize there's spoilers in this, by the way, and that's why we're jumping around. And it's been a long while. It's already been a couple of weeks. Let's be real. Probably by the time that we're putting this out, right? You know, so like, it's like damage control is I feel like they're going to kind of promote the big bad. Right, they're going to be part of the big bad one way or another, whether they do it themselves, they choose to do it, or if they are coerced into doing so, right? That's where I'm fitting.
Yeah, and speaking of like, we're talking about like more grounded, and it just felt more leveled. You know, I mean, it just couldn't be more realistic with a supervillain prison just being pressured to, I guess, keep active by we need to fill the cells.
We need to fill the rooms.
You know, it's not important enough that we house dangerous individuals safely. We gotta fill that capacity. You know what I mean? I mean, if the taxpayers are paying, we gotta fill that capacity. And like, my brain is just like, wow, that I don't doubt that for a second. That would 100%.
That's world. Like, that's already happening now.
It's already happening.
It's a lucrative business.
If we somehow got supervillains, that wouldn't even be treated any differently. It would just be like, hey, you gotta find yourself a supervillain to fill. I got like 10 open cells. You gotta fill them. And then when those get filled, well, we need to open a new prison now. So
hey, there's a new space, and there's new jobs that need to be opened up and shit. And that's the scary reality of things. Because if we even circle back, they've already been, you know, they were trying to capture Kamala Khan and Miss Marvel.
Yep.
You know, they in Far From No Way Home, you know. They arrested Peter Parker in a heartbeat because of the drones, and they took said drones and started using it throughout the rest of the universe, like in future iterations. Yeah, it's wild, right? And it's like,
you know what kills me? At no point has a government agency saved the world in the MCU, and yet they're constantly trying to take down the only people trying to protect this world in this universe, and for some reason they're like, we can do better, okay?
So much. You know, we could have done that.
Criminals, let's use criminals that will control instead of trying to just be on the side of heroes that are trying to do good, because they could be too dangerous. I can't with that concept. That concept does like take me out of things sometimes, because like, is this really what people would do?
Hey, like, dude, remember the art mimics reality.
I know.
That's exactly what it is. Like, unfortunately, and it's the saddest part.
Is feared. So even a good guy with power is feared.
And that was their excuse, right? The whole excuse is, hey, he can be a threat. He can be if you make him threat. And
what's crazy
Did I even
is
say
damage
that
control. Yeah, if you threaten him.
if you threaten him, yes, he's a threat. Exactly.
What's crazy is like he didn't even do anything that like deserved life in prison in a Supermax villain prison.
Nothing. No,
and they were
nothing.
just like, yeah, instead of like talking to him or trying to find out more information or recruit him, they were like, we're just gonna put him in jail. And I'm like, what? You don't want him on your side?
Yeah.
Like,
see, that would have been a role
so
that Tony
confusing.
Stark and the Avengers would have done. They would have tried to bring him in, one way or another, like how Tony did with Peter Parker. And at least I'm just speaking MCU. Really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's where the biggest thing is. Like, he just wanted to be a damn actor.
Yeah.
He wants to be an actor. That's all he wants right now. Like, he has no inclination to want to rob banks, which he can clearly do. You know what I mean? With the little bit of power that we see that he uses throughout the show.
He can do it easily.
Easily. And mind you, I love the fact that they didn't give us so much of the powers. It was actually refreshing to see him
100%.
struggle with not being able to use his powers, and he's just living life.
He literally just wants to be an actor.
Yep, and
by
then,
showing his powers, he can be.
Yep, exactly. And and of course, it's full circle moment. He's trying to play a hero as well. The main role he's been wanting to do forever is to be a hero, and he could have already done that if he didn't want to just be an actor. So it's just one of those little things, right? But speaking of, and I had to jump to this too, because it's like even Ozzy even put it in there. This episode was peak because I think it hit every note. I did not expect it to. I love that it was a flashback. The Doorman episode.
Oh, ding dong.
Ding dong. Like fucking it's like the rise and fall of this man. I felt for him. I hated him. And then I was like so sad. It's like, he was exactly what stardom is, especially if you are just a joke. You know what I mean? And
it was a good guy taken through stardom, and the test of, will he stay happy? Will he stay the same? And at the end of the day, he never did anything horrible, but he wasn't the happy doorman anymore.
Nope.
Even though he had all the fame, all the money, he wasn't respected. He had an amazing power and somehow still wasn't respected.
Now, I wouldn't call it amazing power, but I think it was very convenient.
What I would say is, like, if you think about anything could pass through him and appear somewhere else, like that is on a like logistical level, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, like what you could do with that ability.
Yeah, I want to say
I need to Cloak.
I was going to say also. Oh my God, you're right. It's so similar to Cloak, but also similar to Spot as well in the So, but then Spot is a little bit more OP than that, because he could create all the holes. But with oh my God, you're right, Cloak. Fuck, I completely forgot that.
It did make me curious about what his power came from, because one, what was the sludge, and two, what were all those doors?
Yeah,
it seemed like it wasn't like a I don't know, like I don't know anything about him in the comics. If he's
Cloak,
I don't know if he was an original or if he's a comic book character. I assume.
You know what? That's actually one of the things I should have looked up. I feel like there is a doorman. I want to say there is. I just never. I don't remember reading about him. I don't. He's one of those
my brain
C-listers.
saw that episode, and I enjoed it, and I just moved on, and I did not think.
But it's also, you just think more of it as, he's just this gag character that they brought in to prove this point. First,
and then also to give us the rules in place, the law that
he's scared.
What was it? It wasn't even that you can't be a superhero and act. It's just the insurance would be astronomical if you wanted to insure an actor that has superpowers.
Yeah, exactly.
And no studio is ever gonna commit to that.
So they would have to have something phenomenal of a power. I would assume they would need a phenomenal power to make it worth it for the and then also on top of the fact, be able to act well, because it's 100%. Like of course, like his old shtick was, hey, you can pass through me and I can send you to the other side safely, blah blah blah.
And he wasn't a good actor. He just had a gimmick.
He was not, which was it was funny. And Josh Gad in the episode, freaking hilarious. And
I can't act. It didn't stop me.
Yeah. God, he's such a liar, but I loved it. It was so good. I'm telling my girl at the same time while we're watching this, where I'm just like, oh my God, I think he's going to kill Josh Gad. She's like, what? Why? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think he does it on purpose.
The moment he showed up on set, like, intoxicated, I was like, oh, shit.
This is it. Yeah, this is the moment. And the best part is, I want to say the full circle moment is someone needs to end up in in that section of portals, right?
Yeah.
And Josh Gad needs to be in there. And he's going to be, eating his own clothes or whatever, trying to figure shit out. Or maybe he's been in there and it's only been a second for him type of shit, right? And he's like, oh,
or
my
like
God,
it's been an eternity, but, like, there's no aging in there or something like that. Yeah.
I think that would be phenomenal for wherever they bring him in next time. I don't know
if it ever happens,
because again, like we were saying, that goo that came from it was a Roxxon bin that was out there, so that's true there. So, and when you brought up Cloak and Dagger, correct, that's where Cloak and Dagger technically in the Hulu series got their powers from, because of a connection, even though technically they're mutants, but also their powers got, jump started because of Roxxon's like meddling or some shit. Yeah. They're depends on where you read, right? But they're usually,
can we just get them in the MCU? Like,
that would be amazing. I hope they bring them back. I love that series.
Such a great combination. A great really set of characters.
A set of characters for one, yes. Yeah. And they're big, like especially like in like shit, like you know how big Cloak was in in Civil War. He literally was able to. He had everyone have to. I don't know if you ever read it, but there was a point that there was like a nuke about to go off in the high profile prison that they put all the freaking heroes in, and he had to literally swallow everyone up in his cloak, transfer them out, and nearly dying to save everyone from this nuke. And it's like that's how pivotal he was in that series for and usually he is like, but Cloak and Dagger are a great combination. Their
100%.
Stories are usually a really
and the
fun
show wasn't
read.
bad. I didn't finish it, but from what I remember, I enjoyed a lot of the show. I think at the time I just got caught up in too much other stuff. But,
there was plenty. There was plenty to watch. Yeah,
but yeah, it was an enjoyable show. I thought they were doing some good things with it.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was a standout for me. I really enjoyed it. That and Runaways, because they were like, pretty much hitting at the same time, and
Runaways
they were
was
solid.
Getting kind of hit and miss with me.
I think if they got that second season, it would have been a lot stronger, because that's when they were finally getting their powers.
That's what I was kind of getting. It's like, I think they could do more with some lessons learned.
Yeah, and that's what that's where we're coming from. But like that's where some of the connections are, right? Now we have Roxxon like making another debut into the series again, into a series, and Cloak and Dagger technically are synonymous with them. There's so many nice little connections, but like Dark Force is one of them too. The Dark Force guys, that is technically what they call it, the power source of what they have, but Wonder Man doesn't have that. Wonder Man has ionic powers, which we can kind of like actually jump into this. I'm very interested to see where they pull his origin story from.
Yeah, because so far they really didn't give us the origin story,
which I'm
fine with. He just said he had it since he was a kid, which I dug it.
Well, technically they said it happened around puberty. So 13.
And I know everyone's jumping to mutant.
Exactly. That's what I was see. I was trying to string you along in there. I was just trying to string you along.
I don't want him to be a mutant.
I don't either. But
because we're gonna get so many mutants. I mean, I don't know. I just
they already made so colors, right? Let's just go with colors. They like to mix colors a lot and make it synonymous with like powers, right?
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch has red, but then Magic has purple, like a purplish tinge. Kamala Khan has a purplish crystallization to her powers. Now Wonder Man is purple eyes and a little bit of the energy coming there. It's ionic energy.
Yeah.
But it's also now, yes, they're giving us little hints that, hey, it might be because he's a mutant now. Yeah,
I know. I know I feel like that's what they're going for, and I want him to switch it up.
Yeah. And now what's funny too? Remembering the series, right? Besides stuff like the Easter eggs, like the musical Rogers being played, like showing all over the place in Hollywood, right? The musical being there. I'm trying to think. I wonder if he's not a part of the actual 616.
Why wouldn't he be though?
I don't know.
Because I mean that's clear sign that
Because you're right.
Captain America.
Trevor's there, but Trevor could have been
damage
anywhere
control,
else.
which is part of 616. Trevor, which is part of 616. Like he's literally the references to the Mandarin, which was 616.
Yeah. Okay.
I 100% think he's 616.
All right, I take that back then, guys. I take that back. I know
But
my
that
own
would
question.
be interesting because like if they because we haven't seen really how they're going to introduce the X-Men mutants, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The 616. So to me it would be weird for him to be a mutant and then mutants come from somewhere else somehow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope they don't do the mutant thing. I won't die, but
yeah,
I'd prefer them come up with something different.
Same. Same. The only thing that like is with like the mutant thing is that because in the comics, Wonder Man has a relationship with Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch. So it's like that's where the big mutant things is, and also the same thing. He has a connection with Vision.
Which I don't think they're gonna at all touch.
Probably never, probably never, because honestly, we already have a Scarlet Witch and we already have a Vision. We don't need Wonder Man.
We don't need a throuple. Going
Yeah,
on.
pretty much. Yeah, we don't need that at all right now. And for the casual fans, Vision gets his brain waves from Wonder Man. That's how Ultron partly made Vision. So that's the reason why that's where he shows up from.
Yeah.
But I digress. So yeah, those things I don't think is going to really happen. I think it's cool to know that we didn't need to have an origin at all for this. We have little hints here and there. And it didn't make anything less impactful for the series. You know what I mean? Like I think because they kept it so grounded, it was really about him getting this role and trying to realize who he is, and the relationship with Trevor, even though he technically almost betrayed him completely, he ended up being the reason why he's able to even control his powers toward the end of the season. I thought fucking awesome.
And I think like this is one of Marvel's better writing. How Wonder Man's mom talked about how lonely he was and how she didn't think he was lonely. But the whole moment where he's like, "Thank you for loving me," and then the realization that he's never really had a friend.
I know that made me sad, actually.
The little bit of time that they've known each other, he immediately was viewed as a friend.
Yep.
And it's just like, and Trevor, he was like, I can't do it, and Trevor was never like an evil person, so like this was already a tough go for him. Yeah. But he clearly is like, he's always joked. I remember in Iron Man 3, he was like. He's like, if you're going to send me to jail, I have some people I want to roll on immediately. But they were all bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So like, this is one of the first times where like, we're seeing him put in a weird situation where like he jokes about rolling on someone, but this is someone that he's quickly become friendly with.
Yeah, he straight up said he was like, he could be an asset. He's like, he can work with him. Like, no,
why are we trying to arrest him?
Yeah, he was like, he's a good guy. He just wants to act, and he's talented, and it's.
What did he say? He's like, I think he called him like a kind soul or something like that, or like a gentle soul or something.
Yeah, something along those lines. I thought it was also funny little moments like when they were about to have the interview. And Trevor's just like, he was like, what do you mean? He like everybody likes you on set. He was like, no. They like me when I'm with you on set. They know they think I'm a dick. They think I'm a dick. Like they know it. And it's like, of course it's because of the ego. He finally made it, and obviously he could back it up with the acting chops that he has, which. In real life, Yaya is freaking amazing. This man is so fucking good.
The great thing is like this show did show how both of them are incredible actors. Yeah, even within the context of the show. Like obviously we know that, and like we're getting a great performance, but even like within the show, they showcase like their incredible talent.
Yeah, I don't know if in real life if you have any acquaintances or friends that have been aspiring actors or have ever went out on any gigs or anything like that, because this whole movie, like I've known a few. I know a few that are still doing it, and wish them all the best luck and all that kind of stuff. I always do, and all I felt is like, oh man. I remember when this dude was going through this right now. I'm like, I remember him doing this. I was like, oh, this shit hurts. I was like, but I remember doing constant freaking self-tapes or doing this or reading lines. And You know, and that's what I felt like. This was an actor's like documentary.
You know what's funny? How mad were you getting at the brother when he's like, oh, so you got an interview you got another interview for an interview for a job you might not have, and he's like, yeah, that's kind of how it works. Like, I'm applying for a position. I was like getting so mad. I was like, bro, you're really not going to disrespect this. Like,
I love that you brought him up, by the way, because in the comics as well, his brother actually becomes a supervillain named Grim Reaper. It's a lot more convoluted than what it is, because technically his brother is just pissed at Simon because he's always the favorite. He's the golden child or whatever. Similar to what they have, the dynamic. Yeah. He's the one that had to like man up and, you know, grind out, and he couldn't follow his dreams. But Simon gets to follow his dreams and be like still get money and stuff. Yeah, I know, exactly, right? And it's like, so you see where that is. Obviously, I don't see them at all ever bringing in the Green Reaper here. No. I think it's fine the way it is. They don't need to ever bring the Green Reaper into the MCU. But it's funny because it's like they did have that little animosity, but you know, it's still good. It's funny to know that, hey, his brother ends up being one of his main supervillains in the comics. You know what I mean? The dude actually even fights the Avengers at some point or other. You know?
Yeah, no, I think the family dynamic that they gave us was really good. And I was at, you know, I mean, again, I'm usually pretty good at like sensing where things are going, not being surprised too much, because like, you know, we've consumed so much media at this point. But I was actually really surprised when the interview with the reporter.
With the reporter? Oh yeah.
And I was not I was actually surprised it veered towards bringing out Trevor Slattery's past. And I was like, oh, so that's how we're exposing it. I didn't see that coming. I really thought there was going to be some, you know, I thought actually his family was going to say nothing but nice things, like, which happened. But I thought he was going to get so pre-defensive that he was going to like destroy his credibility, and there was going to be something tension with that. But it went the opposite way and just went completely over to Trevor.
Yeah, like he did in the first episode. He straight up, as good as he was, he lost his own job that he had. All he had to do was shut his damn mouth.
Yeah. And speaking of which, couldn't someone have just been like, hey, we only have a little bit of time to record this. We got to stay on schedule. We can't make
Oh, yeah. The director should have shut that shit down in 2 seconds. Like,
hey, I love you. I love your thoughts. We don't have time to do it. We can't do it. So I'm sorry. Instead of just being like, let's just strip the whole character. Like, that felt a little too... That actually felt like more work than just saying some words. That was a little confusing, but obviously we had to showcase his ego, and his love for acting gets in the way of like just acting.
Yeah, I think that's... Yes, in real life... That's a little much. Like I feel like they could, like someone could have shut it down very easily. You know what I mean?
Hey,
like
we got to be out of here by 6. Like,
right, exactly. Hey, be like, hey, I'm sorry, but like maybe the next time, even though your head is going to be bitten off, you know what I mean? He was just trying to live the role, right? You know what I mean? Take it as far as he can. But this dude was literally just supposed to die, and I love the fact that they made jokes. She was like, how hard is it to get your head bitten off and die? Like, what does it take to do that? So the agent was hilarious. I loved her. Loved her role.
Oh yeah, no. Who was that? Who was that? Was it like his cousin or something like that?
No.
Was that just a friend, or was that a family? I thought that was like a family member.
I feel like they became as close as family because she believed in him so much. Like she was like, I see how good you are.
Was very funny. Yeah, their dynamic was really good.
They were solid. Again, and that's where you want as an aspiring actor. You need that agent to feel like you're worth it, their time, so that they can keep on bringing you out roles and stuff like that. Because eventually, you know, you're stuck ass if you don't have that.
And I'm actually glad you brought that up, because like one thing that I noticed is like a lot of the characters felt really natural. Like her character, even though she is a more bombastic character, felt very real. And then even like his ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Those conversations just felt really real and felt really good. I really don't have like a lot of nitpicks of like the writing and stuff like that, because like I was just enjoying it so much as we were going along. I didn't feel like any dialogue was super weird or cringy or odd. You know what I mean?
The best part is like you almost were okay with the fact that it didn't feel like a superhero movie or a show. 100%. And that's what made it better. It was grounded. It was they stayed on topic. The only time you ever remembered what you were watching is because Trevor was getting pulled by damage control.
Yeah, 100%.
Off to the side, or his his eyes were glowing because he was getting so freaked out and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. I was like, this is how it should be. It should just be. You don't need the constant action. Like,
There
was
are
that
some,
cool
like,
action scenes?
You can have that in some movies.
Yep.
Like that's what it, like you can have that in some movies, but like let's get some other cool creative elements. Let's get your horror stuff. Let's get some thriller. Let's get this like weird not slice of life, but like you know what I mean, like
dude,
drama. You know what I mean?
How good was it during the during the audition with the director that eventually we get to the point that he has to work with the other scene partner?
Oh yeah.
when he punched through this dude's head.
Oh yeah, I was like,
I was taken aback. I was like, no. I was like, no.
I was like,
woke up from the nap.
So it's about to go downhill from here. He's like, wait, doesn't he get the role? Like, I was so confused. I was like, how is this gonna work out? And then it was like, oh, he's just dreaming.
And exactly, like you're wondering. You're just like, wait. No, that's not real.
And I was like, "Oh my god!" So he murdered someone. So he just straight murdered someone.
I had flashes of The Boys. Seriously, right off the bat, 100%. I was like, "This is The Boys." I was like, "This is what's happening right now," and it was just comically they hit the right marks. They hit everything from pacing and story. Right now, they're going at it great. Every cast performance, I don't think there was anyone that like you just said. Everything felt genuine. Everything felt natural.
Even the tahine candy. Side story.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually going to be
so good.
I thought that was actually going to be kind of like a moment where I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here. But then that still was pretty good.
That went hilarious. It's like he's just trying to get his boys in trouble because he got cut out of the business. It was so fucking good. It was so simple too, and it's just like, why are we here? And it's like those little shenanigans that make it so much more realer. Like these two are going out on little random adventures. Because of just
trying to do a self-tape here, act here, get in,
Fucking hilarious. And then, of course, because Trevor's past catches up, but also for them to fucking find him like that was wild enough. I was like, I get it. People are connected back in the dark web, right?
Yeah.
But to come back for him, like, they do know that he wasn't the one paying them, for all the drugs and everything. It was the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, or this guy from Iron Man 3, right? But so I digress. Yeah, he's dead. I guess that's the reason why they were like, you know what, we might as well go for the guy that's still alive.
Also, I don't know how publicized that was, for the most part.
Yeah, that's true. Who knows? Like,
because they were giving him money to buy the drugs.
That's true. Yeah. Oh man, but it's like I think this series, it's obviously the strongest one from the Disney Plus stuff.
I think so. Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since Loki and WandaVision.
Yeah.
I think it stands as close to them in my favorites of stuff that they had. Captain Falcon. Oh my God, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Or Falcon Winter Soldier. There, that one. Oh my God. Sorry, Anthony Mackie. That was like still top 4 for me, but this is definitely above this right now for me. Sure. You know what I mean?
I think there's so much more substance in this.
Yeah.
That just made it so pleasant to watch.
Yeah. I think it's simply, this is one of my favorite things from the MCU since, how far do I need to go back? I guess since the rewatch of Iron Man 1. So like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it recent.
I'm not hearing you anymore.
Oh, so I'm thinking. No, nothing. Oh no.
Nope, I cannot hear you.
Technical difficulties, people. 1 second. I could cut this.
Forgive us for the technical difficulties.
Hey everybody, we had a little technical difficulties, so this cut is going to be weird. But if we did this right. I haven't enjoyed a series this much since my rewatch of Iron Man 1, but at the same time since probably like WandaVision as well. So Disney Plus, I will say Disney Plus wise, like probably WandaVision. That was the last one I could say I really enjoyed. But Wonder Man, wow, yeah, this has been doing really well. This series was awesome.
Yeah, no, I hope they take the right lessons from this. You know what I mean? You never know like what they're gonna take, because like I mean I haven't because I've been trying to stay away from spoilers and everything like that. I have tried to ignore all Wonder Man talk. What has been like the reception? I've kind of tried to ignore that because I just finished it up like 2 days ago.
You know what's funny? Really I should have asked Ozzy, but I remember because Ozzy, like, I do the same thing. I usually ask Ozzy, what are they saying online? Because I don't care. You know what I mean? I personally don't care because I don't want.
I just want to enjoy it or not. Yeah.
Exactly. I know if I enjoyed it, I know we're going to talk about it and I'm going to say if I enjoyed it or not, right? But I want to say I think everybody's been receiving it really well. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a score of like 100. Like it's certified fresh, I should say. If Rotten Tomatoes is showing a certified fresh and Disney Plus is posting that on their screen,
there's a reason. 91 reviewer and 88 regular viewers.
That's solid.
That's for a Marvel project, especially on Disney Plus. And because Disney Plus, doesn't always get a lot of love.
Yeah.
Outside of Loki and like WandaVision.
Exactly. And I think, and again, this is a character that, as well known as he is in the comics, he's not known by casual fans. So it's like I knew to bring him in. Exactly. Everybody knows of him. They're like, oh, there's a Wonder Man. Exactly. Because where I usually hear, like I've always read, anything I've read about him, he's already been established. And that's it because of stuff like this and that comic right there, the West Coast Avengers. And I think that's where we can like really speculate. Having him in there, he's one of the founding members of West Coast Avengers. Yeah. This is like characters like Hawkman, it'd probably end up being Hawkgirl, being put in there in the forefront in the West Coast. And that's essentially what the West Coast Avengers are. Avengers that set up shop on the West Coast because everybody has spent time there at one point or another. People like, Iron Man has been a part of the team. Wonder Man, again, he's been a part of it. And then we can add in a lot of characters that don't really have as much establishment in this MCU yet. You know what I mean? And that's what the West Coast Avengers are. They're usually like some of the, the extras here and there. Even technically She-Hulk can be added to into the West Coast Avengers and be probably, if they make a season 2 of Wonder Man, she would probably be a part of it.
Yeah, and what's funny? That's one thing that I find I don't know why I said find so weird like that. I find I kind of miss is like not like Avengers 1 and 2 style movies.
Okay.
Where like Avengers 1 really was New York was on the line. Like, it wasn't Earth invasion, so like the whole world was on the line, but it wasn't like the whole universe was like on the line.
Yes. It was just New York.
And like same thing for like Avengers 2, Age of Ultron. Obviously, technically you could think like the universe is on the line because Ultron is a universal threat. But like in general, it felt a little bit more like this like, these certain It was a high enough threat, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
And I miss kind of those. I feel like it would be, with how many characters we have and how many characters we've established, it would be nice to have like a West Coast Avengers movie where like maybe the threat isn't too crazy, right? Like they need to take down an organization, right? But like the whole existence isn't on the line with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe, we have another group of people, maybe Midnight Suns or something like that, and maybe someone's got to take down AIM, right? I don't know. I feel like I miss those. We have so much room for group movies that you can actually get a lot, because not every character is going to get 3 movies, you know what I mean? Or multiple seasons. So it's like, it's nice, like, hey, maybe these are the times where we can see these characters again. Like, man, I want to see Moon Knight so bad. Again,
well, remember,
whatever iteration, I liked the show. A lot of people didn't. But in whatever iteration, I just want to see my boy Moon Knight back. Yeah. Okay? In one way, shape, or form.
I think he deserves a return personally as well. I enjoyed it. Oscar Isaac is not going to do it, but that's besides the point.
I want to see these characters and like group movies, Avengers types would be West Coast Avengers, Midnight Suns. We have the tools to group up some characters. And it would be nice. Like, and there's other things you can do. Like if you want to explore AIM more, have a group of heroes have to take down AIM. You know what I mean? Or a project that they're working on. Or maybe Baron von Zemo is experimenting on someone for once. Maybe he's actually doing experimentations.
Yeah, maybe he comes back and stops dancing in the clubs and shit like that, right? But I digress. But see, and that's what I was saying. I don't know if you heard my thoughts on like Superman on the DC side, how James Gunn's treated that. James Gunn gave us a story where all these characters are there already, and they could just pop in whenever they like. You know what I mean? And it's like
all the ones that he didn't kill off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the entire Bat family.
That's a different story. But like,
yeah,
you know
I get what you
mean?
mean.
Like, it's like that's what we already have. The
We
MCU
have an
already
established
that.
universe of heroes.
They should be more than able to do it, and they subtly do that. She-Hulk did that with Daredevil and Abomination,
and that was nice to see.
You know,
what I
and
mean?
Wong,
like,
yeah,
a
and it's
character
fun.
show up,
Yeah, because that's also where it comes down to. In the comics, the bread and butter is literally like, I'm walking down the street, I see Spider-Man flying through, like, you know, swinging through the freaking skyline, and all of a sudden I see Daredevil beating up a freaking, you know, a thug on the other side. It's like, hey, that's just another Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it does, and I think that's where we a lot of people feel the same way. Like, we want to just have a little bit more grounded. We don't need that extra, like the extra universal threat.
Yep. The universe does not have to be on the line.
We need something. Yeah, you know what I mean? And let's see how they treat it in brand new day, right?
Yeah.
You know, because right now we're probably going to close out with some speculation. You know how we do it, guys.
Is that the
We're
next
theorize.
project?
Yeah, next one is supposed to be Brand New Day. I believe.
When is that?
Or that's supposed to be July?
This July?
Yeah, and yes.
I am losing it right
I'm
now.
pretty
Time
sure,
is
yeah.
time is not working for me at the moment.
Brand New Day. Let's see. I believe that's the very next project.
Wow.
Let's see. And that is. Come on, faster. Yeah, July 31st of 2026.
Damn.
Yep. Actually, there might be a project prior to that, but I'm pretty sure this is the very next one. And there is speculation that, again, that Wonder Man is following into, you know, events from Wonder Man is going to be impacting also Spider-Man. Between some characters that are not said, the characters haven't been announced, you know, the Sadie Sink, like, you know, being in Brand New Day, everybody's theorizing it might be Jean Grey. And it's they have said that the tank that Spider-Man's on and all the, like, you know, all the still shots that have been, you know, leaked, that is a damage control tank. Like, so damage control is still doing a lot of shit,
still doing stupid shit.
It's very stupid shit, and who knows who they're like, and that's the fun part too, right? The guy that was Trevor's handler, right? Yeah. He's been in all these other shows. He's been in Miss Marvel. He's been in what was the other one?
Always getting in the way of people trying to save the day.
Yeah,
that should be his motto.
Yeah, he's gonna be something. I feel like I really hope they make him into something bigger. He
probably because he's like he's like so sold on, like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. Like, he doesn't seem to have any form of moral compass. Mm-hmm. You know, because again, the fact that he's trying to arrest Wonder Man for
nothing.
He really hasn't committed any crime that they're aware of. Mm-hmm. And he's ready to put him in a black site prison for the rest of his life. And then he also knows Trevor didn't do anything, literally anything. He wasn't the Mandarin. He didn't destroy anything.
Yeah.
And then, quick question on that.
Mm-hmm.
Did Trevor accidentally kill someone? Did they actually have him shoot that senator?
You know, that's still unclear.
Because he said, like, squibs and stuff like that. I'm like,
yeah, I think.
Did they give him a real gun and he killed him, or did they squib it and, like, someone else killed him off scene? Like,
I want to say technically they did give him the real gun, and he walked away because, you know, he's like, oh, that's my scene. And that's how that's how I take it.
He probably just thought it was special effects.
Yeah,
you know,
he thought it was because
actor is acting, you know, laying on the ground.
Yeah, because he says, like, in the little interview moment, he was just like, that was squibs. I walked away. Like, it sounds like he did it.
Okay, because squibs would mean he saw blood.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, he's assuming that it was business as usual, and he just walked off the set. So, meaning, like, he didn't see turning around, like, you know, he never turned around. And that's how I look at it as, that's how I want to portray it, because it's like, you saw it.
At the end of the day, it's still not his fault. Like, my man was.
Oh yeah, it wasn't his fault, you know. But it's like, you see it in the way that he portrayed it. It's like he's like he.
I don't think I don't even think he thinks. Yeah, I don't think he knows he did it.
Yeah, I think he knows he knows. No, like, you know, the saying, he knows he did something. He feels like it was wrong. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't believe that he actually did it. He's like, no. He was like, this is still right. Like, no. But then, like, because everybody said it, they were like, that senator's dead. Yeah. And the last thing that they showed was you pointing the gun at him. Yeah. So you're saying that you didn't.
And I do remember people, like, looked away. Like we didn't see the senator get shot, but like people like looked away, which made it look like you saw him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they saw him on film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so yes, Trevor, and he has redeemed himself for me. Don't get me wrong, he redeemed himself a little bit in Shang-Chi as well for me.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
But it was also
this was
because,
so much better.
You know, he was comic relief in Shang-Chi.
Yes.
Here, he was a fully rounded character.
Yeah,
and
a character with depth. Yeah,
coming back with saving his friend at the end of the day. You know, taking the fall for him, and you know, and then you know, Simon like straight up said he was like, "I don't need to be a movie star anymore. I just need my friend."
Yeah,
going to save him at the end of it.
And you know what I love?
So well done.
What do you call it? I loved. Usually, when it comes to like friends break up, right, due to some kind of narrative situation, it's usually always so frustrating. Like I'll give an example. I have never really been a huge fan of how Foggy treats
Matt.
I feel like Foggy is always so stubborn and like unrealistically stubborn in like his view of like Matt and everything like that, and Daredevil and being a hero. But like a lot of times, especially superhero movies, the friend characters, and especially when there's like a rift between them, it's always so annoying. You know what I mean? Because again, one party is being so stupid. But in this, it felt so very real and natural that both truly cared about each other. One was trying to say like, hey, I was going to try to find a way out of this. Like, I am your friend. The other one, realistically being heartbroken and being like, great performance. Like, kudos to you. And just walking away. And neither one of them being annoying about it. You know what I mean? And like, you know, obviously Trevor decided like, hey, I'm going to lose my friend. And I know he's about to get arrested. And he saves him. You know what I mean? Like, that was just such a real character to me compared to a lot of other times we've seen like friends, you know, have this like reveal of like, oh, you and usually there's a lot of lingering like, I'll never trust you again because you know what I mean? Cause like there's no like, oftentimes it feels like there's like the one character that got betrayed can never see context. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always like, you just betrayed me. That's the only thing I'm ever going to think about. But it's like, he was brought into this before you were friends, became friends with you, and then was trying to find a way out. And Wonder Man realized that. You know what I mean? He realized, and that's why he saved him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The moment that he saw that he was like, he took the L for him, you know, with no hesitation whatsoever. He's like, I'm going to get you out of this. Don't worry, I got this. And then like, greatest self-tape ever. It's like, you know, comes right in, saves the day, you know, and obviously the guy knows. He was like, I know you're covering for him. He was like, well, you got your cellmate. You know what I mean? You got your cellmate. You got your spot. Right?
Your quota for the day.
Exactly. And it's like, it works out great. Yes. In comic books, the friend trope sometimes gets a little annoying just because of the fact that you also have to take into consideration that most of these friends, they're just more jealous that they're not the ones with the powers.
I know.
Than it is
I gotta
otherwise.
give you an example. Harry being obsessed with the spider blood.
Oh,
in the Amazing Spider-Man. That shit was so frustrating. And then even in the traditional, even in the OG Tobey Maguire, Harry got real annoying. And I know because he was turning into a villain, but like, it's just... It got very annoying, the whole because obviously in reality they didn't, you know, before they discovered each other's true nature, that relationship was still very annoying. So like those two, I love the Spider-Man movies, but man, those were some annoying friends.
I always remember the meme. I don't know if they ever made it the meme. I think they did. Of James Franco eating the cake in that scene after, like, you know, the moment, like bullshit moment. He's like, oh yeah, this is lit. And I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, so unnecessary, you fucking asshole. But like, it was a good scene. But you know, I think it's pretty clear to say that we can rate this right now.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there with you with a 5 out of 5.
I love it.
I literally was enthralled the whole time.
Yep.
I never looked at my phone once.
Oh,
never looked at that's like a measure for me with a TV show. If I don't glance at my phone once, even between episodes, like because I watched 4 and 4, so I was straight. Aside from like a bathroom break, I was straight running that show. Yep. So like, if I don't even glance at my phone, man, you had me. So I mean, I'm with you. I'm giving it 5 out of 5.
I love it. I think it's fair to say that probably one of the best Disney Plus shows that has come out in a long while. But with our closing, we're going to speculate very briefly how, I think we kind of already did, right? It's like they can either make it that damage control keeps on going, make its way into Brand New Day. And I don't think he's going to make a cameo. I don't think there's any cameos going to happen there.
Who, Wonder Man or the damage
Wonder
control
Man?
guy? Yeah.
Wonder Man. So
I don't think Wonder Man's going to show up in Brand New Day.
Yeah, I think besides potentially, unless they try to make him a mutant.
Yeah.
In this version, in this iteration, they try to make him a mutant. I don't know if that's going to hurt his character for me or not. I don't think it's necessary. I think it'll be okay if, like, they already showed us stuff from the Roxxon goo and this and that. It's a house fire. Ionic energy doesn't cause that.
Weird powers that exist.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And
again, you want to give it an origin, but still, not everything has to be tied to being a mutant or radioactivity or anything like that.
Well, technically, actually, one or the other, bro. Honestly, how else are you gonna get? Like, it's either you're born with it or you're not. Yeah. But then when you're born with it, that means you're a mutant, and that's that is frowned upon
it also,
in society.
Like for instance, like the Phoenix Force is like an eternal force, right?
Yes.
Then
exactly.
that grants the user powers. Like there could be another explanation. Obviously, you can go the alien route. You can go. You can go an alternate being route. You can go an alternate universal power. You know what I mean? There are some powers that are just cosmic powers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nova. It's
his is from a helmet technically.
Yeah,
his is from the helmet.
It's cosmic energy.
Cosmic
but
energy.
it's not like a mutant or anything like that. So there are numerous powers and energies out there. There's other ways he can not be.
I think if they go the mutant route, it's going to be kind of like a cop out, and it's just another force like they did with Kamala Khan, bringing up there's something mutant like this. Blah blah. You know what I mean? I thought it was, they didn't need to do it. They didn't need to just jump it into it. Same thing like they did in the comics, making her a mutant for some reason. Like, it made no sense. Though she is pretty fun in the Krakoa section of the series.
I think they are so afraid of, the Inhuman show was bad. And I think they're so afraid to tie anything back to that.
Yeah.
Because it was such an incredible, like, this is one of the few times where I'll be like, Marvel flopped. Yeah. Like,
Marvel
remember, flopped. And I think they're like petrified of like touching that again.
Well, the comics felt the same way because they pretty much the last thing of Inhumans that I saw was definitely Inhumans. That was literally the last thing they wrote on Inhumans. They literally retconned Miss Marvel into a mutant,
characters, which is very frustrating.
It is, and it sucks because it's
they
like
just don't know how to write that group.
Yeah, well, they used to know how to write them. They just didn't know how to write them for TV, at least I could say. 100%. And Lockjaw would have been the bestest boys ever. Like they fucked that 100%. Up. But and the rest, I think you're right. It's like I think it's the easy route for them right now. Either introduce them as mutant or just keep it hush hush. I think they'll be better off keeping the hush hush.
I would love the idea of us never learning how he got his power.
Same.
Because I'd be so cool with that.
Because they talked about a house fire, right? They did was say there was a house fire and he came out of it unscathed. Doesn't mean he started the house fire. His ionic energy can't cause a fire.
It might.
Because the explosion is technically. It was
energy, but also damage. He was able to fly. Like of course, in the comics, his powers are. He has multiple powers.
Ionic blast.
But at least what we've seen, we have not seen any type of fire or heat come from him. So he might, or what could have happened is he could have had the stove on and he could have had like a panic attack or whatever.
Yeah, and maybe the gas explosion
happened. A pipe or something like a gas explosion by. Maybe like it damaged the stove and boom, it exploded because of the damage. So that's he technically didn't create the fire, but it.
I think it'll be funnier that he ate some food that got contaminated or some shit. I think it'll be better off because again,
I like your idea of just like we don't ever need to know.
I think it's fun. I think it'll be fine. And I think if they need to give him an origin, they could do it during the reboot universe and all that kind of stuff when everybody's already there and all that fun stuff. And I think that's going to be fine. I'm excited to see what they do with Brand New Day. I think
I'm always excited to see Spider-Man.
Yeah, same. You know what I mean? And honestly, like you know I'm on a wholesome moment. All the stills of like Tom Holland just like smiling from ear to ear just made me more excited. I'm like, I was like, he wanted this role. He wanted this. He earned this. And I'm like, I am excited because he's happy about this. You know what I mean? That's all the stills, him fucking smiling ear to ear. I'm like, it makes me warm inside. Yeah. And that's why I'm excited for a brand new day. You know what I mean?
Same here.
But hey, I think I'm good with this episode. Boozer, what about yourself? You have any last thoughts?
No, I think we got it out.
I think we did, guys. So, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed it. You heard it. It's a 5 and 5. It's a Nerdify certified from us over here. You know, this is our episode for the night. And don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notifications button, please and thanks, because, you know, every little tick will help us grow a lot further. And, you know, hey, see you guys on the next ones. And peace.
See ya.